So, welcome everyone to Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissel. Today we have a special guest returning, Miss Nadine Askey. I I it's been a while. I have a lot of questions, and I know you've been busy with helping everybody over there in North Carolina. And today's show is to raise awareness for all the hard work and effort that you and your team are doing. And I really appreciate that you're doing this for all of us, especially those that aren't able to be on the ground. Uh, Nadine is part of the Foxhole Foundation Disaster Relief and Veteran Aid, and you could contact Nadine if you'd like to help out with the cause at fqxwholefoundation at gmail.com. And there's also the Facebook page under the same name. And yeah, that's I do have the website for us to look at in a little bit while we're talking here. But I do believe the last time you were on, we were talking about Christmas giveaways for the families in North
Yeah.
Carolina, and I guess briefly, how did that all turn out for you with doing that?
So it went really well. In all, we gave a total of over $40,000 in cash. Um, we went down right after Thanksgiving for a week to do the first set of giveaway, and we gave $800 to 17 families. So we hand delivered those. I had made patriotic handmade quilted Christmas ornaments and gave to each family as well, just as a remembrance for them to know that the country is backing them. The people of our country cares. And so that was a great experience. And then Jeff had gone down with some help on Christmas Eve and gave out the rest of the money. Um, so that, yeah, that really went well. But we have actually branched away from North Carolina. We've been working in West Virginia from the most recent floods in February, I believe it was. So our main focus has been a Vietnam Purple Heart veteran. His name's Tom Jervis, and he lost everything. So when the floods hit in West Virginia, his home flooded. He was, trying to clean out and get back to some sense of normalcy. Um, he ended up in the hospital in intensive care for a few days. And when he got out, while he was in the hospital, his house burned down. So when
Oh,
he got out, he stayed with a family friend and through some other organizations, Miracle of Life um, Ministries, they found they found us through different ways, and so we helped. So the other organizations have been helping with a donated camper. Got him that. They got the money to donate to get the supplies to have a deck and ramp built for him to have, plenty of room for him to be able to sit out and have his morning coffee or sit out, by the river because he's right along the river. But he is back on his property. I was down again in March, um, helping to clean up the property so they can get the camper onto his property because it was in really bad shape. A lot of debris, that some needed heavy equipment that Jeff had rented. So we took care of that. But he's on his land now. He's in much better spirits because he was suicidal before this happened. He at the end of last year, 24, he lost his brother, and about 2 months later, he lost his son, and then a little bit later, he lost his home. So he was in a pretty bad way for a while. But it's a good feeling to know that we helped save a man's life and put him on a better road than what he was on, and he's in a lot better spirits.
Oh, that's really good to hear. Yeah, and so you're focusing with veterans and taking them in and helping rebuild them up. So that's really great to hear that you saved them from uh, ending their life early, because
Yeah.
that's something I try to pursue as well. Although it's really difficult to detect at times. I've lost a few friends actually like that. So it's
Hmm.
good that you caught it early and that you're providing him with shelter. Now, this the West Virginia cleanup, is that also part of Hurricane Helene?
No, that was the floods that happened in February, somewhere around Valentine's Day.
Oh wow!
There's been one storm after another down in that whole region.
And see, I barely know about any of this, so
Oh
it's
yeah,
news to
they
me.
Kentucky. Jeff's been doing some work in Kentucky because they were hit really bad. They've been pretty devastated. So yeah, he's been kind of hopping around. But yeah, since Helene, there's probably been three or four major storms at least in the
Wow!
Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia area.
And you're able to have people on the ground helping in the different areas too. I'm just curious
So
as to how far you guys are uh, expanding your efforts, because I'm
yeah,
glad you
so
went
we've
further.
been collaborating with other people and other organizations. So Jeff is more versatile in that because he's down there. I'm in Pennsylvania, so um, I don't get to intermingle with these groups like he does. Um, but yeah, I think the one group is called Soulfire Ministries, maybe. Um, but he's been working every day. He's been traveling from state to state, almost on a daily basis. He was taking relief aid down to Kentucky. I think he did that twice. I think he dropped off two campers in Kentucky that were donated. So yeah, he's he's kind of all over the place.
Well, and like just to go back to West Virginia, how did Tom Jervis's home catch fire and burn down? Was that a separate,
So
unrelated event?
well, he told me that he doesn't know how it burnt down. He doesn't know if it was arson or if it was something maybe electrical that has not been determined.
Oh wow!
But he literally lost everything. Now I've been doing work here in Pennsylvania. So since the Christmas holiday, um, I explained in, other podcasts, and I don't know if I did in yours, but disaster comes in many forms. It's not just natural disaster. And so, we try to help people just because they're in bad situations. If we have the funds, when somebody comes to us, we don't turn them away. We try to help them. So some of the things that we did over Christmas, there's a nursing home close to where I live that's special to my heart because my grandmother and my father passed away in this nursing home. And so I had been doing Christmas gifts for those who don't have family or friends that visit them. I work with a coordinator in there. And so um, Foxhole Foundation did that this year. And so there were 13 residents without family or anybody. So my family and my friend went in there Christmas morning and hand delivered gifts and flowers and visited with each person for a little while. So they at least had something for Christmas.
Wow!
So that was one of the things that we did. Another thing, there was a family with 5 children. It's a young family. Um, their 12-year-old son was waiting for a heart transplant, and they were really struggling. And so we took care of the Christmas gifts for the entire family, um, and giving them cash assistance, to help them with whatever they needed. Um, there was a veteran who saw my sign out on my porch, and left a note on my husband's truck. So he's a veteran, he's disabled, he was facing eviction. So we caught him up on his rent. There were some essential items that he needed. So we got those. And he actually just visited me. I think it was Sunday, and came to me and with his dog, because he has a service dog, and thanked me again. And every time he sees me, he cries, and told me how much his life has changed ever since we helped him.
Oh, yeah, it's really something how compassion can lead to all of this
Hmm.
just great prosperity and like thankfulness and
Yeah,
appreciation.
yeah,
And it's something I can't imagine myself losing everything. It would affect me mentally. I know that for sure. Because
oh yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, I do, like, I deal with, I guess, salvaging physical media and reselling. So
hmm.
people are getting rid of, like, their personal belongings that they no longer want. But, I mean, some of this is involuntary. Uh, Accidents happen, uh, death happens. So it just,
Hmm.
people don't know what to do with a lot of their belongings. But in these cases, with the people that you're helping, they had no choice. Everything's lost, and
Hmm.
you're delivering them hope. And I think we talked about this before. Like you're
Hmm.
bringing hope back to them to continue moving on and not
Yeah.
look back, because that could be really hard on the mind, hard on the psyche to just think about what could have been, and then they're
Yeah.
focusing on what can be. And I think that's
Hmm.
an important part of what you're doing.
Yeah. There was a young mom when we were down after Thanksgiving, when we went to North Carolina. Um, we found her on a Facebook post, and she was asking for Christmas decorations for her children. She said that she had already explained to her children that since they lost everything, and so mind you, after Thanksgiving was late November, she still hadn't had power from September. And so she had no electricity. She was in a rented house. And so most of the house was damaged. So she was living in the front 2 rooms. She couldn't even use her kitchen. She couldn't use the bathroom. So, and she was using a generator. And so she said, that she explained to her children that, there's not going to be presents that year, and that they understood. But so she was just asking if people can get her a Christmas tree and some ornaments, so her and her children can at least celebrate the spirit of what Christmas is about. And so we actually got her all of the Christmas decorations. We showed up with the decorations. We had a truckload of food and cleaning supplies, toiletries, almost anything you could think of. There was some clothing, um, gas, several days of gasoline for the propane, or for her generator. Um, and then when we left, I told her not to worry about Christmas, that Christmas will be taken care of, that Santa is coming. And so I did an Amazon wish list for the family. So I told her, get your kids Santa's list, together. And so she did. And so they got everything on their list. So they still got to have Christmas.
That's awesome.
No child should be without Christmas.
No, and like you're helping return a sense of normalcy to these families' lives, so it's really, uh, I mean, the effort is not unnoticed with that, especially on the
Yeah.
children. I mean, you probably made
Yeah.
their whole holiday. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She just sent me. So, I am hosting a semi-formal event. It's the Foxhole Foundation fundraising gala. It's going to be at the Rotunda at Loxmont Farms in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful venue that they donated to us. Um, so I was asking for testimonials from people for that, and so the woman's name's Tiffany. So Tiffany sent me her testimonial, and in that testimonial, she actually said that she too was suicidal. She didn't know how she was going to get through, and and if it wasn't for what we've done for her, she doesn't know if she would be here.
do they tell you that um, what you're doing is making them understand that they're not alone?
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that, I said, like the man that came to my house, he said, what you did for me, he said, you'll never understand what you did. He said, and ever since you helped me, he said, my life has changed, because these people aren't alone. And that's the message that I want to get across to anybody listening is that we can't let these people be alone. You have to put yourself in their shoes, and think about what would you want if it happened to you. You would want people to step up and help lift you up. You're knocked down right now in a situation like that, but doesn't mean you have to stay down. And sometimes you just need a little bit of help, and that's where we should all kind of pick up, um, and fill the gap and give whatever we're able to give, and so like with our foundation, we have a website, and it's foxholefoundation.org, and again it's FQXHOLE foundation.org, and you can go on there and donate. There's no such thing as a small donation. The concept that people have a lot of times is that, if they can't give a lot, they don't give it all, maybe out of shame or embarrassment. And my philosophy on that is, one should be more ashamed of not giving anything opposed to giving something small. So even if it's $5, even if it's $2, I mean, in the Bible, the woman gave 2 cents. Um, and it meant more because she gave her last 2 cents than, somebody who gave a lot of money because it came from her heart. And I think that's what we need to really think about is what comes from your heart. You know, um, we have an obligation to help those in our own country. You know, you may not know them, and we don't have to know them, because again, anyone listening, if you're struggling, if we succeed in the way that we want to succeed, we want to grow and we want to be able to help anybody who comes our way. And the only way that we can do that is through the support of the American people. None of us are wealthy, we're just your average person working just like everybody else, average paycheck, average home, nothing special. We're just able to do, the things that we can do, and we're asking everybody else to do what they can do.
I wanted to do this before, and I admit I'm one of those people that did not donate. So right now, I'm going to donate $5 as an example,
Awesome. Yeah.
and I'll do this off screen, but I'll show that I did it and put it through, just so that I could put this in practice for everybody.
Yeah.
It's very important to me because I used to study the floodplains here in Illinois, and it just
Hmm.
devastated me reading some of these flooding stories back in the 1980s, just in the old
Hmm.
newspapers and everything.
Hmm.
And it just, I understand how, like, I understand in a way, but in a way I really can't ever, uh, like, do that, like, be in their shoes, so to speak. I could
Hmm.
try my best to, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah. We'll never understand unless we live it. But we just have to try to think, if it was me, what would I want? What would I hope for?
I would want to know that people are there that are understanding and knowing
Hmm.
that they're there to support me.
Hmm.
So that's the same thing with these people as well. They need to know, and you've seen the results of that. That they've come up to you and said that they um they they can't explain just how much you've helped them.
Hmm.
And I'm really happy that you're doing this for veterans too, specifically, because you can't help everybody, but you can try to help as many people as possible. But when you have
Hmm.
a focused uh, group that you could really dedicate your time to, then you're more effective that way, instead
Hmm.
of like spreading yourself too thin. And I'm glad to hear
Hmm.
that you're working with like Soulfire Ministries, getting them on board with things, or just going back and forth with them and making sure that they're getting uh, all the resources they need to help all of these
Right.
other people. All right, I got it here. I want to practice this. I want to put this into practice. I am about to donate to the Foxhole Foundation. So,
If you go onto our website also,
all right.
you'll see some information about the gala, and tickets will be getting released on June 1st to be sold. It's going to be a beautiful event. So I suggest everyone to go in and check out the event, um, the meals, the people that's um, going to be speaking. Chad Gracie, the drummer from the band Live, he's going to be present. Um, so it's going to be really nice. It's been a lot of work, but there's a lot of special things that's going to happen that I'm not going to speak of because it's going to be surprises. So there's a lot of different things going on. And if you're a business, if anybody out there that's listening to me has a business of any kind, if you can sponsor us through your business, I mean, we are a nonprofit. So, it is tax deductible. So either be a sponsor or even, just a small donation. If you have products that you can send that can go into a basket to be auctioned off, we're going to have a silent auction. Any way that you're able to help, would be great.
And you have the address where they can mail, if they want to mail anything like that. That's
I
it. Like,
think if they
it's on
go,
the website there?
I think it is.
Okay, so yeah, just I guess search around on the site if you're.
And they can even email, like, my phone number is in there, so somebody can even text me and I can give them my address. I mean, I used to never answer my phone. I would just let it go to voicemail, to screen people, but I answer my phone all the time now just because of this, because if somebody needs help, I don't want them having to leave a message. But so I do answer my phone, and I'm not gonna, if you leave me a message, if I can't answer my phone and you leave me a message, I will get back to you.
Excellent. I typed in my wrong card expiration date, but you saw on the screen I got the
Yeah.
$5 in. So I'm trying to set an example for my viewers that I'm practicing here what I'm asking others to do. That's why
Mhm.
I made this
Mhm.
donation today. I was thinking about doing it, and I just put it off, and then we
Well,
hadn't talked
life
for a while.
happens. Yeah, life happens and people forget, and that's why it's important. I appreciate you having me back on. Keeping our name out there is very important, so that's a huge help for us too.
Yeah, actually, our my TikTok account got a lot more hits on our last interview that we did. So I'll
Mhm.
be putting this together in a vertical format so that we can share it off to that website as well. But
Okay.
yeah, this is all streaming on YouTube right now. We're gonna do a video re-upload as well, probably in the next day. I do them mostly the next day at this point, and also on Rumble. So we'll get you a little bit of everywhere. There's
Yeah.
BitChute. There's a few others that are just kind of in the void, but they do get hits. So
Yeah.
there's people watching, and if they're so inclined to help out or see what they can do to participate and get things moving along, then
Yeah.
that I hope they follow through and do that because that's
Yeah.
the whole reason why I got you here. I really wanted to make sure that this stays in the conscience of people throughout
Hmm.
uh, the coming weeks and months. And
Hmm.
I like to see that you're still having success with all this.
Yeah.
I know the last time you were
Um,
saying you were getting like roadblocked or just there were there were issues with FEMA. Have those been resolved now since the changing of the guard, so to speak,
so
with the
somebody had
country?
yeah, somebody had asked, since Trump has been in, has there been a lot of changes in help? They had asked Jeff, and Jeff's down there more, like I said, more than I am. And pretty much his answer was no. There's still not really any work going on. So I don't know where the problem is, because Trump released a lot of money, um, to be used there. So I don't know. I don't know where the problem is there. Um, but I do want to say that we personally, like our foundation, has had some scammers, and so we had gotten scammed a couple times, um, but we've learned, and so anybody listening to me, we just had last weekend, we had a woman calling for help from Tennessee. And so we do our homework now. We're good-hearted people and we want to take people at their word, and we just can't anymore. So we will vet people. So anybody listening to me, who you may be one of those people who want to try to take advantage of somebody, don't come our way, because we will vet you, completely vet you, to make sure that what you're saying is true and that you actually are in the situation that you say that you are in, before we will help you.
That's good to hear. I mean, because now you've taken the precautions to make sure that's not happening, and it's gonna happen in any type of field. There's gonna be scammers, so it's really
Yeah.
good to know that like you've already had to deal with that issue and you've addressed it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just gonna help uh, you. Like I was saying before, spend the time on the people who truly need the help and
Right.
get rid of the people trying to make a, a quick buck off of you by lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't like
Yeah.
accusing
No.
people of lying. It's like they need to, like you said, you need to vet the people out before you go
Mm-hmm.
and help them now. And I think yeah, that's a
Yes.
really good way to go about it.
Yeah. We're actually, Deirdre is going to be working on, um, a file that you have to fill out, a form. Um, so we will be asking for very specific information, and then we will actually be checking into that information. And so if somebody isn't willing, which is what happened last weekend, the woman wasn't willing to wait. She wasn't willing to give the information. She just wanted us to cash app her some money because she said she has no food. And so with a little bit of research and the address that she gave us, we found out that that area wasn't even hit by the hurricane. And we're like 7 months in. She's saying that she still has no food or anything from Hurricane Helene. At this point, people have food, you know. So that was a red flag right there for us anyway. But one of our team members looked into the address, Google mapped it, saw that it was a very rundown house, and there was a gas station in the background. And so she called that gas station and talked to the manager and asked if that area was hit, and he said no. So
Wow.
between that and the fact that she didn't have the patience to wait for us to get the information, and that she didn't want to give specific answers to questions, there's your answer. you know, she was just trying to get something for free, and we're done with that. I said we were scammed at the very beginning. This isn't our professions. We didn't come into this with any kind of a professional background in doing this. We just allowed our hearts to lead us, to help others, and that's what we're doing. So we're learning along the way, but we're pretty quick learners. So
Yeah, I wanted to also mention that again for those watching that yes, this is volunteer work for you. This is not your like what you're spending most of your time on, but this is your passion to do this, to go and
mhm,
help people like this.
yeah,
So it's a clear distinction. Like you haven't made this into uh, some sort of thing that would be benefiting you mostly instead of the other people. This is a lot of
right.
just really, like you said before, boots on the ground type of work, just making sure these people
Mhm.
have hope, and that you're doing all of this extra stuff that you don't need to do, but you're doing it.
Yeah. No, I work hours a day, reaching out for donations for the gala, um, working on the gala and all the details that goes along with that, finding sponsors. I have not worked this many hours in a long time, and it's my time. I'm not being paid for it. There's Tom Jervis. He's our
Ready?
Vietnam. Yep, right there. That's our Vietnam Purple Heart recipient. That man, he has served people his entire life. Ever since I think he said when he was 16, at the end of the year for Christmas, he would save money, until Christmas, and he would buy Christmas presents for children who didn't have anything. So every year he played Santa, um, and now you can see he kind of looks like Santa, but he's been doing that every year since he was a teenager.
Oh,
And he said to us he couldn't believe, the help that he's been getting. You know, he was just really surprised that somebody would step up and do everything that's been done for him. And with all he's done in his life and what he sacrificed, he was shot 9 times in Vietnam. And, this man deserves, it's his turn now, to get something back.
wow. Yeah, I'm trying to think about like how would these if he were to have reached out for like let's say government assistance with uh the the relief,
Mm-hmm.
just like how long would that take and how little would he end up getting in the end as opposed to how the Foxhole Foundation's operating?
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure of his finances or anything like that. And the amount he may have gotten. from
Well,
insurance or
I guess like response time is more
a
what I'm.
response time. Oh,
Yeah.
he'd still be in that friend's house.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, your foundation is helping fast track to get them
Hmm.
back to where as close to normalcy as they can be.
Yeah. Yeah. The camper is just a temporary um housing right now. We are not finished with him. We want to get him something more permanent. So whether it's a tiny home, um, or hopefully building his house back. The plot that he's on, I mean, even in the area where he lives, the houses are very small. Um, I don't know the square footage of those houses, but I mean, I would venture a guess is like maybe 600 square feet. They're not big homes in that area, and they're all around. They're very close in proximity, and most of the houses where he's at are all condemned, and those that aren't condemned look like they should be. They're just in really bad shape. So, he's got a cleaned off lot. Um, he's got vegetables growing now. That's something he was looking forward to. So he's got boxes on his deck of different kinds of vegetables. Somebody donated a brand new dog house for his dog Starge. There was somebody else who did woodworking, donated signs that have the dog's name on it. One had a purple heart, like printed on it, because he lost his purple heart as well. Um, so that was even just thoughtful for somebody to do that. So yeah, he's on his way. He's doing pretty good.
And like typically, like especially with Tom, how would you guys go about keeping in contact? Like, how regular would you be checking in on him? And
So we all have like he's part of the Foxhole family now. So
so, like, he can reach
anybody
out
that
to you guys at any time, and like you guys are
anytime,
ready.
yeah. Oh
Awesome.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody that we've helped has our phone numbers. They can I still have from one of the people who scammed us with a camper and money, and it was a mess. So I'm not going to go into the nightmare because it's too long, but um her aunt, which is how we found out that she was scamming us. This woman is an angel. Um, she still contacts me, asks me how I'm doing. She's on my Facebook now. So, we have communication. And so a lot of the people um, that we've helped, I contact them regularly or they contact me. Even our donors, I have some people who have donated. There's a woman in Texas. She texts me, I don't know, almost on a weekly or biweekly basis. And she desperately wants me to come down to Texas to meet her. She wants to meet me. Um, and she's an elderly woman, and I told her someday, I'd like to meet her in person. But yeah, I mean, it's more than just somebody that you help and you just leave. We're the kind of people we make a connection. So it's different than any government agency that I know of because most of the time they don't even know your name. So that's not how we work.
Yeah, that's good to hear too. Like, I kind of figured that, but I just wanted you to clarify that that's more than
Yeah,
just routine. Like, hey, how are things going? It's more like
yeah,
whenever they need to talk, or
yeah.
if they just, like we were saying earlier, if they're feeling lonely, they feel like they don't have anyone to listen to what's going on with them currently, then
Hmm.
all of you are there for them to
Yep,
reach out to. So that's a
yep,
good, I guess, it's a good comfort zone for them to have.
yeah. No, we appreciate them as much as they appreciate us, and that might sound odd, um, but we learn from them too. And just seeing even their resilience and knowing what they've gone through, and they still themselves want to help. You know, Tom gave us a very nice donation. He insisted on giving Foxhole a donation.
Wow.
And we're helping him. We're like, we're helping you. Don't, and he's like, I don't care. I can help you right now. And I want to help you, so he'll get it back.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I can imagine it's very humbling just hearing their stories and what they have to
Hmm.
with and go through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So oh, it's good to hear though that like he feels that he's that that in that place to give back, because I'm
Hmm.
sure a lot of other families that you've helped want to do the same,
Hmm.
so that they can pay it forward in a way to help another family that would need
Yeah.
that same help in the future. So I
Yeah.
can understand how that would work.
Yeah. And that's even in our logo, is to pay it forward. Yeah. It's part of the motto. It's, when you're down and out and you're accepting help, that's what you should do. I don't think people should allow their pride to get in the way when you really need help. Um, and unfortunately, I feel like society kind of makes people feel that way, that they shouldn't ask for help or shouldn't need help, and they should be able to do everything on their own. None of us can do everything on our own. We all need somebody. We all need, help at some point in our life. And but when you're in a better position, no matter how big or small it is paying it forward. So just to give an example of that, so Loxmont Farms, the one where we're having our event, I said they donated the facility to us. So to rent that facility is over $11,000. It's
Holy
beautiful.
moly,
Yeah.
that's a
And
lot.
so for us to pay it forward, we're going to go do some work for them as a thank you, because it's a huge property. They have 4 venues on the property. It's a horse farm. Um, there's a lot of things that need some updating and things like that. And so we're going to give our time and our skills, and we're going to go in different areas, and we're going to do some of the things that they could use that gets put on the back burner because they're doing the main things and little things get left behind. So we're going to just come in and we're going to fill that space.
That's
So
awesome.
that's paying it forward.
And that's over in Pennsylvania, you said?
Yes.
Awesome. And so I just I know I asked this before. I just want to reiterate it for the viewers watching right now. But you, where do you reside from, and then how often do you go and travel to uh, these different families in need?
So, yeah, I'm in York, Pennsylvania, and I've been down since November. So I was in November, December. I've been down 4 or 5 times. I can't remember. 4 or 5 times I've been down. Yeah.
And how
And
long
it's about
of a stay?
it's about a 7.5 to 8 hour, depending on what part, that I'm going. But on average around 8 hours one way.
And like, how long would you stay on a typical, I guess, mission, so to
About
say?
a week.
A week?
About a week. Yeah. Yeah. I still work. So I work for myself, which is good.
Yeah,
I don't
so
have
do
to
I.
ask for vacation,
Yeah,
so yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Make your own schedule. But I do still have to work. So it's not like I could take off, a lot, but I make it work.
that's awesome. Yeah, see, it gives you
And I'm
that
meeting a lot of
opportunity.
people.
It gives you that,
Yeah.
like,
I'm
that.
meeting a lot of people along the way that want to help. I have 25 volunteers locally that are my friends um, to do this event. So all the serving of the food, and we're having it catered. Caterers making the food, but my volunteers are going to be serving the food because it's going to be a very elegant event. And so, I have people that are jumping on board. I have an event coordinator that's going to donate her time. She's going to be there the whole day. I have a photographer and videographer donating their whole day. I have a woman who has her own traveling bartending business. She's donating her day. She's got all the beer donated already. She's working on other things. Um, I mean, people are just jumping on board, and the bartender, she's a veteran herself. So, people want to be a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's really, I know it's difficult to just build out this organically. It's something that, like, I don't think a lot of people consider, but like to build a community like what you've done with this, especially with the rest of you involved in the project, it's a daily thing where you need to, like you were saying, reaching out to these families, but also with each other, organizing how you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do things going forward, and even like with you getting blindsided sighted here and there, like you also
Mm-hmm.
need to know that it's not just stumbling. You're able to keep on going
Right.
and not
Yeah.
like just put everything to a halt. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
important too. So it, the, the fact that you're getting this venue together to have a larger gathering about this
Mm-hmm.
cause, I think's very important, and it'll be impactful too.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the local news involved to see if they'll cover, well, first to get me on to just talk about it for ticket sales. And then I'm hoping that they'll cover the event in and of itself, um, because of what we're doing there. Um, I haven't heard back from them yet. I don't know usually how long those kinds of things take, but I did write to two of our local news stations about a week or so ago. Um, but I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's rewarding. You know, um, I've been overwhelmed with the willingness of people to just jump in, wanting the opportunity. You know, so that's been really, really good. Um, the uh, the silent auction. I have a friend who is an artist, and she painted the most beautiful um, eagle painting on a piece of wood. It's incredible. Um, so we've got some really really nice things, that we'll have there. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And that's all gonna be, you're essentially raising donation money
Hmm.
through auctioning off this art. That's incredible.
Yeah, I've contacted many many companies, to become sponsors. I actually reached out to United States companies um, who make flags in America that they they don't order them from China. And so I actually had one reach out to me. I actually just got my flags in the mail yesterday. She donated 20 flags to us so far. Really nice. They're all handmade. It's called Grace Alley is the name of the company. So if people can support them, they're a family business. They are the sisters that the one sister owns the company. The other sister that I spoke with, she's in the Florida branch. The owner, her sister is in California. So they have those two locations. But amazing people. Their history is amazing. They're military families. They said all the men in their family line has been in the military. Um, they're Native American. She's just her story is incredible. And she said that they get donation requests all the time from Boy Scouts and the VFWs, things like that. And she said that what we're doing more aligns with what they want to be involved with.
Wow. Here, I think I found. Are they available to purchase the flags on Amazon? Does that look right?
I'm on my phone. It's too small for me to
Sorry.
see,
Okay. Yeah,
but
there's
yeah,
Grace Alley American flags
Grace Alley. Yeah.
and actually gracealley.com. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect.
And that's what we should be doing. We should be supporting companies like that. When her and I talked, we just had an instant connection. And it was funny because she's like, we're going to be friends. And I'm like, what do you mean gonna be? She just started laughing. But she said, we're a company that hires people. We don't do, she said too many companies are, robots and things like that. She said, we want people making these flags. So they are all hand sewn.
I
So she
think
was
some of
trying to tell
my
me they may not be perfect. I said, you know what? To me, something like that, it's perfectly imperfect.
I do a lot of Civil War reenacting, and I know
Mhm.
there's people I talk with and I'm friends with that'll probably really want to check this out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna forward that to them too. Oh, that's good. So yeah, gracealley.com if anybody needs a flag and wants to help. Uh,
Yeah.
I guess you know. What would you call it? It's like vicarious help through with Grace Kelly. But if you want to help the Foxhole Foundation directly, you can as well, or you can help by supporting both. You
Hmm.
could do a little bit
Yeah. I
like what
mean,
I showed. So,
yeah. I mean, hopefully anybody listening to you has a flag,
oh yeah, there's a there's more than a few. Yeah,
So every single person should be flying a flag. And as you fly a flag, they get worn, and you have to replace it. So if you ever need to replace your flag, they would be the perfect company to replace it with.
very cool. Yeah, that's what I like to support. So
Hmm.
it's very good. So I'll say that that's secondary, but this is primary here, and I'm showing that I did make a donation here today on the show as an example. So I do hope
Yeah.
my viewers will also follow my lead and as little as $5.
Hmm.
It doesn't need to be much. It may seem little to most people, but it'll go a long way, especially if a high volume of people do that.
Yeah.
That'll
Just think if 1 million people donate $5, it's $5 million. A million people is not a lot of people in this country.
no. What do
So
we have? Like almost 450 million, maybe more now.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's not, the whole concept of this is that we have to come together. It's a really simple concept. We are more powerful in numbers. We can do great things in numbers, and if we all just come together, nobody can stop us.
I agree with that. Man, I'm just so inspired by your work, and I will I said this before, but last year was my first time driving through the East Coast from the Midwest,
Mhm.
and I thought the scenery was beautiful. I noticed the people's houses that were up on back of the hills and stuff, and I
Mhm.
really enjoyed seeing that. I felt gravitated toward that part of the country, and I can't imagine what those same roads or homes look like today after all of the natural disaster. Or we actually said this wasn't natural disaster.
I don't
This
believe it is. No,
this was
I don't
more
believe any of the storms have been. No, I believe they're all done intentionally.
yeah. I hope it stops. That's all I'll say about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Me too.
And in the meantime, you're helping these people, which is very much appreciated because there's some people that, although like myself, I could go and do that, but I would be sacrificing so much here at home, and I
Mm-hmm.
just don't. I can't spread myself out that thin currently, and I
Jeff's a superstar. I mean, as much traveling as he does in a day, like I sometimes worry about him because he's driving so much and then he doesn't sometimes get home till midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, from leaving early in the morning, so I worry about him driving, hoping that he doesn't fall asleep.
yeah,
But
it's a
he keeps
very
going,
important thing.
he doesn't stop.
Yeah, driving, it can really get hypnotizing, especially if it's raining out and you're using
Hmm.
the window wipers.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're all keeping each
No.
other in check and not making sure you're pushing yourself too far where that does
Yeah.
happen. So that's good to
No,
hear.
I always tell him, you need to take a day. So there's times where he'll try to take a weekend and then something comes up and I'm like, you know what? You need to chill out for the weekend. So yeah, I get on him. I'm proud to be his partner for sure.
Here is the TikTok account for Foxhole Foundation. So if you'd like to go there and actually I don't know why I wasn't following you before, but I'm logged in now. So there we go. So here's all you can look at all the videos on here. Um, again on TikTok, Foxhole. Just look for their logo here, and yeah, everything else looks pretty solid. You have some podcasts here.
Hmm. Yeah,
Excellent.
there's a bunch on our website. This one will then go on our website as well.
Yeah, I'll
Even the
have to
one
get
from
you
you
the
the last time is on there.
awesome. Look, there we are. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We try to document everything. Um, Try to get it on there as soon as we can. Deirdre makes our TikToks for us. She's incredible. Um, so, you know, we don't ever try to put pressure on her. So she's pretty good with getting them out, but um, I don't ever want her to feel, she has to get something out in a day, although sometimes she does. But she's great. Yep,
is this
that's
the
the
venue?
rotunda right there.
Oh,
Yes.
that's beautiful.
Yep. I grew up not far from there. The mansion on that property, my sister, when we were kids, she was 15. She used to clean the mansion. And I always wanted to go in the mansion. I've never seen inside because I like doing those things. Anywhere we go, I like doing tours of, old homes and things like that. So the owner's wife took me on a tour of the whole property. She didn't have a lot of time. So I didn't get inside the mansion yet, but I do think I will get an opportunity.
Wow, yeah, it's really cool. Like I really like the colors on this. It's going to be very
It's just,
welcoming environment.
and it's a beautiful spot. It's up on the hill. You can see the river in the background, and like the mountain across the other side of the river. And yeah, it's beautiful. That's one of our auction items that I designed.
Oh, that is really nice.
Thank you.
It looks like there's yeah, what material did you use? I'm not going to guess. I'd like you to just explain what like so you put this together yourself. You're an artist. How did I not
Yeah,
ask about
yeah.
that?
So yeah, it's just I just look for violins and if I get them pretty cheap, one marketplace or whatever, and I paint them. The embellishments on there, a lot of them I made. So all of the big gold pieces on there, I actually made them out of hot glue. Um, but yeah, my mind's always going.
Let's see. I was gonna try to get a bigger version of
Yeah.
this. I just
Like
wanted
the
to zoom in on the
flowers.
details here.
Yeah, like the flowers that are on there used to be just white flowers. And so I paint them, I put glitter on them, I put a diamond in the middle of them. Um, the strings are diamonds. Um, yeah, it's a lace background. So I painted it and then I lay a piece of lace over it and I glue it and then I put a glue on top of it to harden it. And then I have to take teeny tiny scissors and get all the little pieces for the openings and cut all that out and cut all around it. And
Oh yeah,
it's
right
a lot
here.
of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Very nice. And it looks. Um, Man, I just really like this gold leaf and something
Yeah,
about it's good.
that's hot glue. I made that out of hot glue.
That
I
looks
have molds.
really good, I gotta say. Like
Yeah,
for
thanks.
being hot glue. I thought
Yeah,
that
no,
was
I
some
buy.
template that like you found that
Yeah.
just so happened to match it, but no, that
No, I buy molds, silicone molds, and then I fill them with the hot glue, and then I clean them up, and then I paint them and I antique them. Just like the background behind right there, that's also a piece of hot glue.
wow. I would have never guessed that. That's really cool. I did see here that says that the ticket sales. Well, this is ticket sales for the silent auction. It starts June 1st.
Yeah, the ticket sales for the venue for the event will start on June 1st.
Okay, and then the event itself is on September 14th.
Yes.
Excellent.
And
Yeah.
we have multiple surprises.
That you're not going to reveal until the day of. You
Till the
got to
day
do it.
of.
You got to do it that way.
There might be one big one that'll get revealed before that, but yeah.
So there that is, and if anybody would like to purchase tickets and also go to this gala, there's all the information here on the website. It's very accessible. Like I just am browsing through this right now, and it's pretty easy for me. So I'm glad that uh, it it's accessible. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Some of these
Yeah.
sites, there's just so many like different pictures and
Oh
stuff, or
yeah.
it just there's disorganization. This is very
Hmm.
organized.
Oh, that's Deirdre. That's all Deirdre. She's really good at doing that.
We'll give a shout out to Deirdre here. Awesome. So we've gone 1 hour. How you feeling? I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah.
Again, everyone, if you can, get the $5. Follow my lead and do the same, and help these people out that have lost everything except hope, because
Yes.
Nadine's here delivering that to them every day. And
Well, that's one thing that everyone out there can deliver because we deliver it through all of you. So we can't deliver it without you.
yes, and
We're
that's
dead in
part
the
of the whole
water if
working
we don't
together
have.
thing.
Yes, yes. If we don't have the support of the people in this country, we're nothing. We're nobodies. We're just people who have the means to have the time and to be able to do those things, but we can't succeed without any of you. So you guys are just as important as we are in this whole process.
Well said. All right. Well, I think this will be okay for this show. I do want to have you back on again soon,
Absolutely.
and I'm looking forward to hearing about the updates from now till then in the future.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I think we'll have a lot to talk about, and I do think you'll continue on this work as you've been, if not
Yeah.
greater and beyond what your expectations are. So
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is a huge help for us.
yeah, no problem. My pleasure. And I do know that you will be appearing on Beyond the Box channel again in the near future.
Yes.
So
Yes.
keep a lookout for that, everyone, because Brenda is going to host another show with Nadine here, and they'll be talking about a little bit various topics other than what we covered here, because I do
Mhm.
my own thing where I'm just kind of on the
Yeah.
fly, but I try to keep it natural here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just as long as we're getting the word out, we're sharing
Yep.
what you and your foundation are doing. I think that's our part here for what
Yeah. Definitely.
for how everything's gelling together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I appreciate you being on here. Uh, I'll keep you on for the the backstage just to say
Okay.
goodbye to you. But
Okay.
for the audience here, thank you for being here,
Thank you.
and I'll be talking with you very soon. And thank you for coming
Okay.
on today. I really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. Hmm. Bye, everyone.
All right, that was Nadine, and I really hope you all consider helping out with with all of this, because it's not focused on too much these days, but really we need to get together, work together with as much division as that's going on right now. Like, we need to really learn how to work as a team, and that's also something that I take to heart. Um, Being a film director, you need a team. You need people that are specialized in certain areas so that you can really be a well-oiled machine. And Nadine's helping move that along, and I understand this is my part of it, considering my circumstances. But my gift of doing video work is something I really want to pay forward, and I really don't think it's like I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd rather do what I can and continue doing that. I think that's another thing. We need to continue putting that effort in day after day, and that'll really help uh, with the progress and help move things along. So that's it for today. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you catch me tomorrow. I got my deep dive series going on as well as Saturday. But until the next one, class dismissed.